This video program spotlights the new 1993 Supra Turbo and its key competitors. The new Supra Turbo will play a vital role as Toyota's image leader, as the showcase for Toyota's most advanced technology, and as a magnet for building showroom traffic and increasing the sales volume of all Toyota sporty cars. The 93 Supra Turbo is one car that really lives up to the word new. Toyota's built a whole different Supra from the ground up. The only thing the same is the name.
I would say the main thing I like about it is that the damn thing just goes like hell.
This car is, it's unique that it will stand out when it comes down the street. It will definitely turn heads.
It's definitely not your old Supra. The Supra's aggressive new styling is classic. Under its skin, the Supra reflects the no-nonsense approach of Toyota's engineers. Unnecessary high-tech gimmicks have been avoided to minimize weight and maximize performance. The result? A new Supra that's ready to run with the big boys, including some exotic and far pricier sports cars. Car and Driver magazine tested the new Supra Turbo in head-to-head competition against some of the top sports performance cars on the road today, including the Dodge Stealth RT Turbo, the Mazda RX-7 Twin Turbo, the Nissan 300ZX Turbo, the Chevy Corvette ZR1, the Ferrari F40 and 348 TS, and Porsche's 911 and 968. The Supra Turbo's sophisticated powertrain generates world-class performance and handling, which puts it at the top of this highly competitive class, including the world's leading sports cars. First, let's see how the 93 Supra Turbo stacks up against the 93 Dodge Stealth RT Turbo. Dodge introduced the Stealth in 1991. It's virtually identical to the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. 1992 sales of the Stealth were slightly down from 91, with 3000 GT sales about the same as the previous year. From a mechanical standpoint, the Stealth and the Supra Turbo are at opposite ends of the spectrum.
The Dodge Stealth RT Twin Turbo takes a little different philosophy in its approach to ultra-high performance.
The Supra Turbo's engine has twin sequential turbos, while the Stealth has twin turbo only. The Supra Turbo has 20 more horsepower, 8 foot-pounds more torque, and a better power-to-weight ratio as well.
It uses a lot of gadgetry, gimmickry, electronic tricks to get the job done. It is heavier as a result. There's a lot of extra weight that affords it to carry all those electronic tricks and gadgetry. Contrasted is the new Supra Turbo, which uses more of a purist approach, trying to emphasize lightness and high horsepower to weight ratio.
There comes a time where no matter how much technology you have, you can't overwhelm that much weight. It shows up especially in braking, and it also shows up in tire wear. If you'll look at these tires on the Stealth at the end of the day, you'll see what I mean. The tires will be worn out.
The Supra Turbo's standard transmission is 6-speed compared to the 5-speed Stealth. And the Supra Turbo's optional automatic transmission is 4 ECT with intelligence versus 4 ECT only for the Stealth. Traction control and torque sensing limited slip differential are both standard on the Supra Turbo. The Stealth doesn't have either one. The Supra Turbo's braking system has front spiral and rear straight ventilated discs. The Stealth has only straight. Supra Turbo's ABS system incorporates a lateral G sensor, a feature lacking on the Stealth. In a safety comparison, the Supra Turbo's dual airbags are standard, while the Stealth has only a driver's side airbag. The Supra outperformed the Stealth in Car and Driver's tests, beating the Stealth in the 0 to 60 test, the quarter-mile test, and the skid pad test. Next, let's compare the Supra Turbo to the Mazda RX-7 Turbo. The RX-7 is Mazda's high-performance flagship. It reflects their latest technology and styling efforts. This version is all new for 93. 1992 sales were slightly down from 91, with a bigger drop from 90 to 91. The Supra Turbo's engine generates 65 more horsepower than the RX-7's and almost 100 foot-pounds more torque. The Supra Turbo's standard transmission is 6-speed versus the RX-7's 5-speed. And the Supra Turbo's optional automatic transmission is 4 ECT with intelligence, while the RX-7's is only 4 ECT. Traction control is standard on the Supra Turbo, but not on the RX-7. The RX-7 also lacks the Supra Turbo's lateral G sensor on its ABS system. The Supra Turbo's dual airbags offer a greater margin of safety than the RX-7's driver's side only. In a comparison of interiors, the Supra Turbo wins hands down. It's a 2+2-seater versus the RX-7's 2-seater. It has a power driver's seat with seat height adjuster, plus a tilt steering wheel, both features lacking in the RX-7. And the Supra's interior is roomier than the RX-7's.
One of the great things about the new Supra is the ease of entry and exit. At 6'4", you saw how easily I got in. There's plenty of seat travel also for the longest of legs.
Well, with all the adjustments on the seat, you're able to custom fit the car to yourself. I mean, different length legs, different arms, different body heights. So it's a great fitting car. Great, you're very comfortable in it. Lots of room. I'm really impressed.
In car and driver's tests, the Supra Turbo edged out the RX-7 in both the 0 to 60 and quarter mile. Next up, the Supra Turbo versus the Nissan 300ZX Turbo. The 300ZX is the 4th generation Z car. It debuted in 1990 and is Nissan's performance flagship. 1992 sales were off quite a bit from the previous 2 years. In a comparison of engines, the Supra Turbo's twin sequential turbo beats the 300ZX's twin turbo. The Supra Turbo's engine puts out 20 more horsepower than the ZX's, plus over 30 foot-pounds more torque. And the Supra also wins the power-to-weight ratio comparison. The Supra Turbo's 6-speed manual and 4 ECTI automatic transmissions are superior to the ZX's 5-speed manual and 4 ECT automatic. The 300ZX lacks the Supra Turbo's traction control system, and its ABS system doesn't have the Supra Turbo's lateral G sensor. The 300ZX's driver's side airbag doesn't compare to the Supra Turbo's dual airbags. In a comparison of interiors, the Supra Turbo's 2+2 seating and tilt steering wheel give it the nod over the 300ZX.
Particularly as a tall person, I prefer having tilt, and the new Supra has a tilt that moves by 3-4 inches. Thus, it is easier to get the perfect driving position in the Supra.
Car and drivers' performance figures bear out the Supra Turbo's superiority to the 300ZX in their 0 to 60 test, their quarter-mile test, and their skid pad test. What's more, the Supra Turbo's braking performance is also superior to the ZX's. Now, let's look at how the Supra Turbo measures up to the Chevy Corvette LT1. The Corvette is celebrating its 40th anniversary. Today's fiberglass-bodied Corvette has been around since 1984. Corvette sales have remained relatively steady over the last 3 years. The Supra Turbo's twin sequential turbocharged intercooled dual overhead cam engine is more sophisticated than the LT1's pushrod overhead valve version. One result is a 20 horsepower advantage for the Supra Turbo, along with a better power-to-weight ratio. The Supra's optional 4 ECTI automatic transmission has the edge over the LT1's 4 ECT. The LT1's braking system doesn't have the Supra Turbo's G sensor. Supra Turbo buyers get longer powertrain warranty coverage, 5 years or 60,000 miles versus 3 years or 36,000 miles for the LT1. The Supra Turbo also wins the safety comparison with its dual airbags versus the LT1's driver's side only. The LT1 is a 2-seater in contrast to the Supra Turbo's 2+2, and the Supra Turbo provides more head and leg room.
Getting in and out of a Corvette is not an easy assignment, particularly if you're tall. Ease of entry and exit is one of its weaknesses. Also, the interior has some basic and fundamental ergonomic problems. A particular problem is the instrument panel and gauges. The oil pressure, oil temperature, engine temperature, voltmeter gauges all have the needles at different positions for normal, thus at a glance it's almost impossible to read them. Also, the speedometer and fuel gauge, especially in bright sunlight, being a digital model, is virtually impossible to read.
This in contrast to the Supra Turbo's sleek functional ergonomics.
The interior reminds me a whole lot of the interior of a jet fighter, single-seat jet fighter, because all of the controls are angled towards the the driver.
The Supra Turbo beats the LT1 in the 0 to 60 and quarter-mile tests. And the Supra Turbo has a tighter turning diameter. Not only does the Supra Turbo beat the LT1, it also outperforms the Corvette ZR1.
The ZR1, interestingly, provides outstanding performance despite costing almost twice as much. The ZR1 and the Supra Turbo are competitors in the world of performance. For example, Car and Driver magazine in recent testing showed that the lateral G-force, the cornering or skid pad grip of the ZR1 was 0.88, where the Supra was 0.95 Gs. So there, the Supra actually defeated the ZR1 despite its incredible width and the huge steamroller tires.
It's clear that the new Supra Turbo is giving every sports car on the road a run for its money.
I think the new Supra will be a very strong competitor against all the world's sports cars, including the best from Europe in the BMW, Ferrari, Porsche categories even.
$111,000 for the Ferrari 348 TB. You could look at it that you could buy a Supra Turbo for yourself, your wife, and your child, all for the price of one Ferrari. In terms of actual on-road performance, the 348 is well balanced, it has good braking, it's one of the first Ferraris with ABS in fact, but it's not all that fast. In fact, in sheer acceleration, the Supra Turbo will beat the Ferrari.
And in Car and Driver's tests, it did just that, blowing away the Ferrari 348 TS in both the 0 to 60 and quarter-mile tests. Looks like the new Supra Turbo is going to send a lot of sports car manufacturers back to the drawing board. The 93 Supra Turbo, hot new contender in the premium sports car class, Toyota's image leader, providing performance plus prestige and functional technology that's not just along for the ride.
Everything you ask, the car will give it to you.
It's stylish, it's fast, it's comfortable.
This is one of the first Japanese cars that really could take a notch out of Ferrari's prestige, I think, because the performance is so good.
This Supra competitive comparison video has been brought to you by Toyota Motor Sales USA.
The 1993 Supra engineering team set out to design a world-class performance car, and they succeeded. Here's a car that's ready to stake its claim as one of the hottest sports cars in the world. It's one of the most technologically advanced Toyotas ever. That's why it's important you become familiar with all its exciting features. For 1993, Supra makes a clean break from its grand touring sedan heritage. Everything about this car has been engineered to enhance performance. The new Supra goes from 0 to 60 in a Ferrari like 4.6 seconds and has world-class braking abilities. This car was built with one objective, to take its place among the sports car elite.
I would say from an engineering standpoint, or someone who tries to be aware of what's out there on the cutting edge, that this car expands into a new dimension. You can have performance that's not just acceleration, but also braking and cornering and sure-footed integrity. I think it's expanded the envelope.
The 1993 Supra lineup includes a Supra with a normally aspirated engine and a Supra Turbo, both available with a sport roof. The exterior styling is characterized by a sleek nose that progresses to a tapered rear end. Up front, a single aerodynamically shaped lens is protected by a lightweight composite plastic and contains 4 distinct halogen headlamps. Functions include a parking light, low beam, fog lamp, and high beam. A super bright projector beam provides the low beams and fog lights with brilliant lighting, yet won't annoy oncoming drivers. The headlamps have an auto-off feature that's linked to the operation of the driver's door. At each side of the center air inlet, separate intake vents provide fresh air for cooling the engine and front brakes. The Supra's front spoiler is protected by a black lower edge guard. The exterior mirrors are color-keyed, power-operated, and electrically heated. The aerodynamic efficiency of the Supra is illustrated by its low drag coefficient of 0.31, which allows it to cut through the wind with ease. The new Supra is powered by a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder twin-cam engine with 24 valves and electronic fuel injection. This advanced engine develops 220 horsepower at 5,800 RPM and 210 foot-pounds of torque at 4,800 RPM. That gives the new Supra a power-to-weight ratio of 14.6. The 1993 Supra delivers almost as much performance as last year's Supra Turbo. In keeping with the spirit of a high-performance sports car, the Supra retains its rear-wheel drive. A 5-speed manual transmission is standard equipment, and a 4-speed electronically controlled automatic overdrive is available as an option. An optionally available torque-sensing limited slip differential enhances performance by directing power to the tire with the most traction. The new Supra has a sophisticated racing-derived 4-wheel independent double wishbone suspension system. This design provides increased cornering power and steering response by keeping the tires in optimum contact with the road surface. For reduced weight, the upper wishbones and the front crossmembers are made of aluminum alloy, and the front and rear stabilizer bars are hollow, which reduces weight and increases rigidity. Other improvements in handling have been gained by giving the suspension anti-dive and anti-squat geometry, and by lowering the center of gravity. Speed-sensing power rack and pinion steering provides sure control at higher speeds and during low-speed and parking maneuvers. The new Supra features numerous applications of corrosion-resistant materials and treatments. Included are high-strength steels and significant applications of galvanized steel in the body panels. There are several aluminum alloy components which are both rust-free and light in weight. The 1993 Supra has a highly distinctive rear-end appearance with an aggressive, purposeful look. The upper edge of the hatchback ends in an aerodynamic lip. The tail lamp assembly is a unique and distinct group of 4 round lenses. The center high-mounted stop lamp turns from white to red with brake application. The 1993 Supra's single chrome exhaust system provides the same efficiency as a dual exhaust system, but weighs 30 pounds less. In line with its image as a world-class sports car, the new Supra is equipped with high-performance wheels and tires. The 5-spoke wheels are made of light alloy, are 16 inches in diameter, and measure 8 inches wide in front and 9 inches wide in the rear. Their unique tread pattern contributes to improved handling and are size 225/50Z in the front and 245/50Z in the rear. Braking is another area where true sports car performance is measured, and here too the Supra checks in with impressive credentials. Just in front of the rear wheel openings, air intakes direct cooling air to the rear brakes and differential. The 4-wheel disc brake system includes large, internally vented rotors at all 4 wheels. For superior braking action, the front brakes have twin piston calipers. A sophisticated 4-sensor anti-lock braking system improves braking performance in all conditions. It includes a lateral G sensor, which helps improve high-speed handling, stability, and control by measuring the cornering forces of the car and actually varying brake pressure to each individual wheel. The interior of the new Supra is driver-oriented and offers the kind of cockpit surroundings one would expect from a true performance car. Everything has been designed to keep the driver's attention on the road with no distractions. The instrument panel is well laid out and easy to read. Switches and controls for all key functions are located for ease of operation. The instrumentation features a tachometer and speedometer prominently displayed for quick, easy viewing. There are smaller gauges for oil pressure, fuel level, and temperature, and a digital clock. A master warning light alerts the driver to potential problems. The standard sound system is a premium AM/FM ETR cassette with 6 speakers, programmable equalizer, and FM diversity antenna. The new Supra is the first Toyota product to include both the driver's side and passenger side airbag supplemental restraint system as standard equipment. In addition, front seat positions are fitted with 3-point retractable seat belts for the optimum in convenience and safety. The seats are shaped for excellent support. The driver's seat is 3-way adjustable with a power slide, recline, and manual seat cushion height. The passenger seat has two-way adjustments with slide and recline. Standard seat upholstery material is a lightweight soft cloth in front and vinyl in the rear. The standard equipment list is impressive and includes power windows and door locks, electronic cruise control, automatic air conditioning, leather-wrapped steering wheel with tilt feature, and leather-wrapped shift knob and parking brake handle. Anti-theft system, auto-off headlamps, and illuminated entry. Options include a premium 3-in-1 AM/FM ETR cassette CD player with 7 speakers and programmable equalizer, and leather seating in either black or black and ivory. For the driver who wants nothing less than one of the world's highest performing sports cars, there's the new Supra Turbo. Very few sports cars anywhere at any price can match it in either technology or performance. The new Supra Turbo goes from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. That's faster than a ZR1 Corvette. The Supra Turbo is powered by a twin turbocharged version of the Supra engine. The turbo engine has a sophisticated sequential turbocharger arrangement. A smaller turbocharger provides quick initial response for ample low-speed torque for around-town driving. In the middle speed ranges, a second turbocharger comes into operation, making a smooth transition from 1 to 2 turbochargers. At the higher speed ranges, both turbochargers are in full operation for maximum turbocharger boost and maximum performance. Airflow through an intercooler located in the right front fender helps maximize efficiency and power. The Supra Turbo offers performance abilities comparable with some of the most acclaimed sports cars in the world. The Supra Turbo engine puts out an impressive 320 horsepower at 5,600 RPM. It generates 315 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPM, with approximately 90% of its torque available at city driving speeds. The all-new Supra Turbo performs as well on the road as it does on the track. As standard equipment, the Supra Turbo has Toyota's first 6-speed manual transmission that offers easy and smooth shifting between gears. The torque-sensing limited-slip differential is standard equipment on the Supra Turbo. Additionally, the Supra Turbo features a standard traction control system which monitors individual wheel slippage. A computer has relayed this information and in return controls engine power and the ABS system to ensure each wheel's traction. This system is a real benefit when driving on poor surfaces such as rain, ice, or snow. The 5-spoke light alloy wheels of the Turbo are 17 inches in diameter, measuring 8 inches wide in front and 9.5 inches wide in the rear. The tires are size 235/45Z in the front and 255/40Z in the rear. The brakes of the Supra Turbo are larger on both the front and rear than those of the normally aspirated Supra. Optionally available is an all-new electronically controlled 4-speed automatic transmission with normal and manual shift modes. This provides the convenience of an automatic while allowing the driver to select the responsiveness and driving involvement of a manual. The Supra Turbo is available with an optional rear spoiler. It's mounted high, which creates substantially more stabilizing downforce and reduces interference with rearward vision. One feature shared by all Toyota products is exceptional warranty coverage. This includes bumper-to-bumper protection for 3 years, 36,000 miles, powertrain coverage for 5 years, 60,000 miles, corrosion perforation coverage for 5 years, unlimited mileage, and the emissions warranty is good for 5 years, 50,000 miles. Here's a summary of some of the main reasons to buy the new Supra. Distinctive, aggressive exterior styling. Advanced new power plants and powertrains that deliver exceptional performance and efficiency. A turbo model that offers prestige and performance that rivals exotic sports cars costing much more. A sophisticated suspension that handles the road in a way that very few sports cars at any price can match. One of the world's most capable braking systems with an advanced ABS included as standard equipment. The first Toyota product to have dual airbags. And the unbeatable Toyota reputation for quality and value. The all-new Supra and Supra Turbo were totally redesigned for 1993 and give the Toyota lineup the kind of world-class performance other nameplates can only dream of. They rank right up there with the most technologically advanced performance cars in the world. and will bring to your showroom the kind of sports car enthusiasts that will have to drive them to believe them. For additional information on the all-new Supra, watch the Supra Technology Systems animation video. Redesigned from the ground up, the new Toyota Supra is the product of one of the most advanced performance car philosophies in the world. To better understand this philosophy and this exciting new sports car, the following segments will explain elements of technology and design that set the Supra apart from all other sports cars. Elements such as air management, four-wheel, four-channel ABS, safety technology, and twin sequential turbochargers are just a few examples of how the new Supra is the showcase for Toyota's most advanced technology. Thanks to its seamless shape and smooth contours, wind smoothly slips over, under, and around the Supra's body to reduce wind noise and drag. Proper airflow management provides functional benefits as well. Air is channeled through the front air dam into the engine compartment to facilitate engine cooling, into the front wheel wells to cool the ventilated front disc brakes, and on the Supra Turbo, air is channeled through the front spoiler to an air-to-air intercooler that helps the Supra Turbo generate a whopping 320 horsepower. Airflow is also directed into the rear wheel wells to assist rear disc brake and differential cooling. And the side mirrors have been repositioned on the door panel to reduce wind noise and drag. At high speeds, air traveling underneath a vehicle generates turbulence, which can create lift. To reduce these effects, a specially designed belly pan has been fitted to the underside of the Supra, and the aerodynamic rear ducktail has been specially designed to create a subtle downforce to counteract lift. An optional rear spoiler is available on the Supra Turbo, which generates additional downforce. Plus, the high location of the optional rear spoiler prevents it from obstructing rearward vision. The exterior shape of the new Supra proves that form can actually enhance function, but the functional benefits are not limited to the exterior. Today's sports car market demands a vehicle that balances performance with braking control. Most high-performance cars are equipped with disc brakes. This configuration uses a rotor that rotates along with the wheel, and a caliper which houses pistons that press the brake pads against the rotor to stop the wheel from turning. And on the Supra Turbo, the front brakes are beefed up with larger rotors, 4-piston calipers for maximum braking force, and Toyota-exclusive spiral-finned rotors that improve brake cooling. With anti-lock brakes, a wheel speed sensor constantly monitors the rotational speed of the wheel to detect lockup, and brake pressure is controlled through an independent brake line. If a lockup condition is detected, the ABS system rapidly pulses the brake pressure, which prevents lockup and provides a more controllable braking experience. For optimum anti-lock capability, the Supra uses a 4-channel, 4-wheel anti-lock brake system with wheel speed sensors at all 4 wheels as well as independent brake lines for each wheel. And since the forces applied to each wheel may vary under high-performance driving, the Supra's anti-lock brake system incorporates a special G-force sensor that detects changes in weight distribution that occur while braking into a corner or even in a straight line. For example, while braking into a left-hand turn, the right front wheel position experiences a greater load compared to the other wheels. The G-force sensor recognizes this condition and applies extra brake pressure accordingly. This advanced anti-lock brake system gives the Supra valuable advantages in driver control and safety. But unfortunately, accidents cannot always be avoided. And that's why all Toyota passenger cars are designed with crumple zones, which are pre-stressed areas in the fender structure and hood, designed to collapse in an accordion-like fashion to absorb impact. Hood hold-down hooks located at the back of the hood are designed to help keep it from being pushed into the passenger compartment following impact. And reinforced door beams help protect occupants from side impact collisions. Toyota cars offer a driver's side airbag that works with a 3-point seatbelt to maximize driver safety. And many high-end luxury cars, like the Lexus GS300, offer dual front passenger airbags. The new Supra is the first Toyota model to offer dual airbags as standard equipment. The Supra's supplemental restraint system consists of 2 front impact sensors, located in both right and left fenders, a computer control unit with a 3rd sensor, and 2 independent airbag modules. In the event of a severe frontal impact, the front impact sensors detect the shock, the center airbag sensor confirms the impact, and the computer control unit then triggers both airbags. Both airbags are fully deployed at the same speed, within a fraction of a second, and they deflate quickly to restore visibility. In fact, in the time it takes to blink an eye, 4 separate airbag modules could be deployed one after another. By offering such a high level of standard safety equipment, the Supra can balance safety with awesome performance potential. After all, under the hood of the new Supra Turbo lies one of the most powerful 3-liter power plants ever found in a production vehicle. With 320 horsepower on tap, the Supra Turbo is more powerful than the Corvette LT1, the Mazda RX-7, and Dodge Stealth Twin Turbo. But like any other gasoline engine, the Supra's power comes from the combustion chamber. Air is drawn into the chamber when the intake valve is open. The air is mixed with a mist of fuel. A spark provides ignition and the piston moves to create power. The exhaust valve then opens to release exhaust gas. This setup is referred to as a normally aspirated engine, such as the one found in the new Supra. For additional power, high-performance cars often use turbocharged engines. A turbo consists of a pair of fans mounted on a common shaft. One fan is linked to the exhaust, and the other fan is in line with the air intake. As exhaust gases exit, they pass through one side of the turbofan, causing it to spin, which in turn spins the other side of the turbofan. This additional air intake pressure forces more air into the combustion chamber, which is mixed with more fuel for a significant power increase. And for even more power, an air intercooler can be added to a turbocharged engine. An intercooler works like a radiator, but instead of cooling liquid, it cools air from the turbocharger. Cooler air is more compact and contains more oxygen compared to hot air. So by cooling intake air, the intercooler provides improved power and combustion efficiency. Toyota has been a leader in turbo technology for years, and with the new Supra Turbo, Toyota has created the most advanced twin sequential turbochargers in the industry. At low speeds, only the first turbo is engaged, while the second turbo is isolated from the system. At higher engine speed, however, special valves provide for the sequential engagement of the second turbo, which provides a smooth, continual power increase. This flawless first and second turbo engagement is just another example of how the new Supra Turbo has effectively raised the benchmark for performance and prestige in the sports car segment.